When I was younger, especially as a teenager, I would always have difficulty staying focused for a long period of time, especially when it was time for me to study at home. I remember how easily distracted I would get, especially when a notification would come on my phone, and I would get up and I would go check my phone, and then I would go check in other apps on my phone. And just like that, a lot of time has passed, and I wouldn't feel like studying again because all my focus is gone. And then there are other times when I would hear my family talking about something interesting. So I would get up and I would go listen, and I would even be included in the conversation. And then a lot of time would pass, and I just wouldn't feel like studying anymore. And then there are other times when I was home alone with nobody to distract me. But then I would just find reasons to do other things, and I just wouldn't feel like studying anymore. So I really had it bad. But now I figured out a way to stay focused for a short period of time and even for long periods of time. But first, I started with a short period, and all I needed was 30 minutes. 30 minutes to do everything that is connected to my purpose, everything that will get me closer to my purpose. So I started with 30, and I did it for 7 days. And then after that 30 minutes, I went on to 40, and then I went on to an hour, and then 2 hours. But the thing is, another thing that I did too, I bet on myself. I bet on myself to stay focused on one thing for 30 minutes. So that way I could trick my brain into just being productive. And after that 30 minutes is done, I realized that I wasn't easily distracted, and I would treat myself. So I would treat myself into like giving myself a snack or whatever it is. Just something really small. So by tricking my brain like that, I was able to move on to longer periods of time. And while I am in that longer period of time, even when the timer goes off, I will still go back to working on whatever I'm working on. And all of that helped me to get into a flow state. And when you are in that flow state, it feels so good because when you are done, you realize how much work that you got done. But the only way to get into that flow state is to start small with 30 minutes. Or if you can't do 30 minutes, if 30 minutes feels long for you, you can break it down into 10 minutes. So once you start with 10 minutes, you could add a next 10 minutes and then a next 10 minutes, and that's 30. And then from that 30, you can move on to 40, and then 50, and then 60, which is an hour. But first, you must start small. Start small and then go big. And when you get into that flow state, you will realize how good it feels. You realize how natural it feels for your brain and for yourself to do the work without being easily distracted, to do the work even when you do not feel like doing the work, but you still do it anyway. And from there, you would start seeing a lot of progress, and it will take you closer to your goals and to your purpose.